How does that sit with you? Does that create freedom? Does that feel good? Because to build a life that only looks good, it's not worth it. To build a business that only looks good, trust me, is not worth it. I had a 6-figure studio that my entire life revolved around. And I had no freedom. And I felt trapped, like I couldn't start my family, which is what I really wanted. So I had to step back and redefine, like, what is my version of success? Because my version of success that I started that business with when I was 20 years old changed a lot by the time I was 30, right? Like life changes. So we have to change and continuously update our version of success.
Welcome to Next Level You podcast. I'm Stephanie Dingbaum, your host, your biggest cheerleader, and your go-to girlfriend for real, raw, and uplifting conversations about leveling up in life. As a mental health therapist with over a decade of experience and a business coach helping women elevate their lives and businesses, I'm here to guide you through the mindset shifts, holistic practices, and manifestation tools you need to step into your most authentic, next level self. Whether you're here to ignite your personal growth, elevate your professional game, or simply rediscover you, this podcast is your invitation to dream bigger, go after your goals, and unapologetically claim the life you deserve. So grab your favorite drink, get comfy, and let's dive in. It's time to up-level, manifest, and glow. Welcome back, listeners. This is the Next Level You podcast. Stephanie Dingbaum here. You guys, I have such an exciting guest with me today. I have Stephanie here, Stephanie with a PH. I met Stephanie last year at Powerhouse Women Conference, and it was just a complete happenstance moment. We were in line for like this photo opportunity and got to talking, and we're both Stephanie, and we're both from the Midwest, and we both have husky pups. And so we just kind of like got to talking, and I've stayed connected with her ever since. And I have been so lucky since then to watch her become an author and just really like grow as an entrepreneur. Even just in that short time from August till now, she has really catapulted her growth as an entrepreneur. So I thought I really need to bring her on. One, because I really wanted to talk all about like intentional networking, because I feel Steph is the queen of that. Just to give you a brief introduction of Stephanie before I have her introduce herself. So Stephanie is the CEO of small business Sister Circle, which I'm going to have her talk to you more about what that is. She's also a realtor. She's also an author of Seasons of Soulpreneur. So freaking proud of you, Steph. And she's also a podcast host of Soul Driven with Steph.
What a great introduction. I'm so honored to be here, and I've been looking forward to our conversation. We've been meaning to do this for a while, so it is finally aligned. And absolutely just divine timing that we connected when we did, and continued to stay connected in the seasons of life and business that we're in. So I'm really excited for this conversation today.
Awesome. So like I said before, I really hold you up on a pedestal, Steph, as far as intentional networking. I feel ever since going to Powerhouse last year, I have been so intentional about putting myself in rooms with like-minded individuals, women like you and I, who are going after their dreams, making big things happen in their business, not afraid to like show up as their authentic and CEO selves. And I feel like you've really developed that over in Wisconsin. You started that Sister Circle. Can you explain to listeners what that is?
Yeah, well, that makes me feel very happy, and being intentional about connecting and entrepreneurship and just life in general is something that I'm all about. So it was summer of 2021. So we're going on 4 years actually, when I got this intuition to create a community for my local female small business owners with my sister, actually. So it is called Small Business Sister Circle, and it was founded with my sister, Catherine, and I, who have been entrepreneurs literally our entire life. We don't know any different. We were raised by entrepreneur parents. So we realized that what we have as this entrepreneurial family was very unique and very special. And we know that not everyone has that kind of support.
to launch their business. So that was really the mission behind Sister Circle, was to cultivate that community locally because we couldn't find it anywhere. And, you know, a lot of business groups had dissolved from the pandemic. And we really wanted something different than, let's say, the chamber or the business associations, the BNIs. Like, we really wanted something that was more about up-leveling and education, sharing ideas, sharing support, and not just about promoting ourselves, right? We wanted it to be more about that community than just networking. So I describe Sister Circle as a business education community with a byproduct of business collaborations and connections and sales and things like that. That comes as a byproduct of actually engaging, you know, being authentic and building real relationships with other business owners.
Okay. Love that. And how often does it meet? How often do you guys do that?
We meet in person once a month for our coffee connection. And then we have 2 Zoom calls a month as well. One is focused on business education and the other is on accountability and implementation.
Nice. Oh, I love it. That's awesome. And then you also do once a year, you do your big, is it Sister Circle Summit, or is that not the name?
Yeah. So that was actually one of the first ideas that I had for Sister Circle. We started with just a small launch. We did a picnic with women that we knew. There was like 10 of us. And then we kind of did a monthly meeting with those 10 people for about a year until I felt the call to launch what we have now as a membership. But the conference was something that I knew I wanted to create from the beginning, was this event experience. So that was actually launched within about 6 months of launching the actual business itself. And we had about 20 people that came to the first one. And, you know, start small, dream big. I always envisioned it being this 100+ women business event, and that is what it has become. So this last April, we celebrated our 5th annual, and we reached almost that 100 attendee mark. And it was just really cool to see the evolution of what was once just a really small sprout of a seed and a dream only a few years ago, and now has become this really exciting annual event that all of our members and even non-members look forward to coming to. We've had people flying in to come to it, and the goal is to really just continue to grow it and grow it and grow it and create that as an opportunity for women business owners in the Midwest, because I think there's a stigma that you have to go to a big city or you have to go somewhere warm and tropical to have these experiences, and you don't. And so my goal is to create that right here in La Crosse, Wisconsin, and have it be something that people can travel to, whether you're from the Midwest or not. But just having that in the Midwest is really important to me.
Yeah, I totally agree. I love that concept. And I so badly wanted to go this year, and it just did not work out for us. But I'm done. It's already on my calendar. Like, I'm going next year. So
I can't wait.
Yes, I'm so excited to be there. I mean, just to see, like, hearing you say what it's grown from, just to see that. And I agree. We need something like this in the Midwest. In my mind, like, someday this is going to be the Midwest version of Powerhouse Women. Like, it's going to be that big, you know? And so you're right, too, when you said that, you know, when I first became an entrepreneur, there were groups meeting locally, like, associated with the chamber, which is all great. I think that's such a great opportunity. Yeah. But we have this other female entrepreneur group here in Eastern Iowa that meets not associated with the chamber. And that room, like, I look forward to those monthly visits so much, because we have everyone from like brand new, like very green entrepreneurs to we have 6-figure, 7-figure, we even have 8-figure business owners in that room. And it's magnetic. It's so powerful. There's so much value that comes out of those meetings. So when you developed this, did you notice how not just developing something like this served a need, but did you notice how it really benefited you as an entrepreneur, like your growth and your own journey of, you know, being that best version that you want to be as an entrepreneur?
Absolutely. I think anytime you're stepping into a leadership role, you are going to grow.
Absolutely.
And whether that's, you know, like just growing, and I feel like I always need to be up leveling my own education, my own information. You know, I spent like 5 figures this year on just so far on ways that I'm growing, whether it's masterminds or even like my book, or, you know, just doing the things that challenge me and make me learn and grow and push myself. Because if I'm going to challenge other people to do that, then I better be doing that myself too.
I agree.
So that alone is huge. And then also just, you know, stepping into that next level leader is going to require you to have some hard conversations, to, you know, build relationships that are built on trust and vulnerability. And, you know, if you're going to be in a room of women, there are things that come with that, right? So to really be able to cultivate that safe space, because that's sacred, and you don't want that to be lost or broken. So, you know, that has required me to address things that are uncomfortable or have conversations that are uncomfortable, to uphold the integrity of that community, because it truly means everything to me.
Yeah, I love that. So well said. And it probably helps that you did grow up with entrepreneur parents. And I honestly I was just on your website last week, and I was reading the story about you and your sister, and the idea behind the name, and how you're the S and she's the C. And I was like, how that intentionality, even in the name, is so special. I just love that. And not everybody has that relationship, like within their immediate family, that you can do that. But how freaking powerful that must have been for your relationship with you and your sister, even to like, you're growing as leaders alongside each other, and you're encouraging that growth for other females in your community. I just think that's so amazing. That's got to be so great for that relationship too.
Absolutely. Yeah. I just got off the phone with her, and we talk every day. And I just think that having those sisters, and whether it's blood or not, right? Like having those people in your life that speak positivity, that speak encouragement, that are not afraid to have truthful conversations with you, and also just reflect back to you sometimes what you're trying to figure out for yourself, because they know you that well, is really important.
I agree. Yeah, I love that. Okay, so for women who maybe struggle with putting themselves out there, I mean, I feel like in the beginning, I was very motivated to be putting myself out there. I wanted to meet other people. I wanted to be networking with like-minded individuals, but that's not everyone's strength. And I totally understand that. For those people who maybe struggle with that a little bit, what advice do you have for them as far as like, it's so important to put yourself in these rooms, even if it means embracing that discomfort. But if you are a self-proclaimed introvert and that's not your norm, what advice would you give to somebody like that?
Building your confidence can look different for everyone. It could be as simple as, you know, filming yourself, making a video and posting it. Maybe it's meeting with someone just one-on-one and sharing your product or service and asking for feedback. Maybe it is getting yourself in the room. I would put myself in rooms, well, like I did last summer when I met you at Powerhouse. I went almost 30 weeks pregnant. Didn't know anyone, hadn't met anyone in person. There were a few people that I met online that I was hoping to meet up with, but I really went by myself.
Okay, me too. I went by myself too. So that's amazing.
Yeah. And so that alone, just like putting yourself out there, getting in the rooms and making it really simple of like, I want to meet one new person today, or I would get on calls where I didn't know anyone, and that can be intimidating too. Even for like, you know, the mastermind 6-figure school. And I would say, okay, I'm going to ask a question today. Like that felt like enough of getting outside my comfort zone. So I really think it's starting with the just small action steps, building your confidence. Maybe you do want to, you know, fine tune some of your speaking skills, or just practice filming yourself and watching yourself back. And if that's not helpful, then just do it and put it out there. And then like whatever happens. But we all have to start somewhere. And even just speaking to a group of people, it can be very intimidating. So how can you slowly put yourself in those experiences to grow.
Yeah, I love that. And then what you're ultimately doing is you're just strengthening that muscle. So if you make a video or a reel of your face and you put it on Instagram, and then you're slowly building that muscle. And then the next thing, you show up at a mastermind and you ask one question and you're building that muscle even more. And then the next time you go to a local networking event and you grow that muscle even more. And then like over time, these baby step things that you're doing actually end up becoming huge. Like you might be up on a stage someday, it's just those baby steps together. They build into something huge, I feel. So I didn't realize that was your first time last year at Powerhouse Women. Okay. Yeah. That's amazing. And then you did six-figure school?
I did it the year before. So last year was like my ticket that was included with that. So I already had the ticket and I thought, well, I have to go.
Yeah.
So I'm someone that's like, when I get an opportunity, it's a free ticket, but of course I paid for six-figure school. But when I get an opportunity like that, I don't pass it up because you're meant to have these opportunities for a reason. And to also add to that point of just like putting yourself out there, most successful business owners are successful because they're not afraid to promote themselves. Because guess what? Most people are not going to promote for you. No. You can get testimonials, you can get client reviews and stuff, but you have to be your best PR person.
Yes.
Because no one else is going to do that for you, especially in the beginning. So it is kind of a matter of like, well, do you want to make it? Do you want to be an entrepreneur or do you not? Because you have to be willing to talk about yourself and put yourself out there and share your product or service and be excited about it. And that's magnetic energy.
Yeah,
that people are going to be drawn to. And sometimes it is like, faking it. Like even I don't feel confident all the time either. But the more that I put myself out there, the more that muscle builds and the more you'll see the return on that investment of promoting yourself too. There was a really great quote in the book, Be Seen, and it was visibility is your responsibility. Like if you want to be seen, then it's your responsibility to put yourself out there and allow yourself to actually be seen.
I freaking loved that book. That book like lit a fire under my ass. Yeah, it is good. Okay, so now I feel like knowing that was your first year last year and your sister didn't go, you just went by yourself, you said?
I went by myself. Yeah. And I tried to find someone to go with me, but it wasn't meant to be. No one was committing. I was like, okay, I think this is a sign that I'm just like meant to go on my own. And I will say this, it's great to go with a buddy and a friend. I'm going with a friend this year and I'm super excited about that.
Yeah.
Going by yourself, and you probably experienced this too, Steph, was it really pushed my comfort zone because I didn't have anyone that I was sitting by or that I needed to spend time with. When you go with someone, that's your buddy, right? When you don't go with someone, you get to go make whatever connections and conversations you want. Yes. And so that was my whole goal, was how many connections and conversations can I create? And then the key was to follow up on and continue to nurture that relationship after the fact.
Oh my God, you are totally speaking directly to my soul. That was literally, it was so scary going by myself. And I'm a mix of extrovert and introvert.
Same.
But walking into that room, same as you, I was like, I'm going to make so many connections. It's going to be unreal. And then every time I met someone, I screenshotted their profile on Instagram. So I knew I would follow up with them. Yeah. And you are totally right. When you go with someone, you're less likely to branch out. You're less likely to walk away from them. It's unreal. And I wouldn't say I'm like this super outspoken person typically, but it's like as soon as you walk into the door, like pajamas and Prosecco, the second I walked into the door, and like everybody around you is like, introducing themselves. This is where I'm from. This is the name of my business. How can I support your business? It is so magnetic. It was unreal. I've gone to networking events, but never to that level where everyone's like, how can I support you? This is how you can support me. There's that give and take. And it's just, it's unlike anything in the Midwest. I feel it was just that powerful for the first time going anyways. So I love that you're going again this year. I am also going with a friend.
I was going to ask you.
Love that. And it's her first time. So I'm giving her permission. She's also a previous coaching client of mine, but I've told her, I'm like, as soon as I want you to go and branch out, go, don't feel like you have to stand with me, experience it how I experienced it. And that was for me, the start of a quantum leap that year. because there is just something to be said about putting yourself in a room that was so outside of my comfort zone, going by myself, first of all, and to the level, like, we're talking hundreds of women in that room. That's not like walking to the local chamber event here in Eastern Iowa. Like that I can handle, but this is not like that. So, I mean, it really like quantum leaped me from that point forward last year. Very cool. Okay. So switching gears a little bit, I feel like people, for the most part, have a good idea as far as if you are a business owner, regardless of where you're at in your journey, if you're going to intentionally put yourself out there, you're going to experience that huge ROI on growth for yourself. But I want to switch gears a little bit on your book because it's on my summer read list. So Yay. I don't know if people will see this, but I just want to do a quick shout out to Seasons of Soulpreneur. This book has been your baby for the last, 2 years you've been working?
Yeah, or longer? 2.5 years.
2.5. Okay.
I wrote for about 2 years and then publishing process was about 6 months. Yeah.
Amazing. So talk about how this idea started. How did it blossom for you?
When I started writing was the beginning of 2023 and I was truly like at my rock bottom. I had just left a business or scaled back a business, but left my brick and mortar studio. That was like my dream studio after chasing that dream for really a decade. So I had started my first business, which was a studio, a fitness and yoga studio in 2013 when I was 20 years old.
Are you a yogi? Are you certified as a yogi?
Yes.
Okay. So cool, Steph. Awesome.
Yes. Okay. I would definitely consider myself a yogi. I mean, I had my own yoga teacher training program. I trained instructors. I taught yoga since I was, 20 years old.
Okay.
And I had practiced since I was like in high school. So that was my identity, was like, I'm a yogi, I'm a fitness trainer, and I'm a business owner. Right.
Okay.
So I started writing really as a way to heal and release a lot of this kind of pent up emotion and entrepreneurial trauma that I had around growing and scaling this business for 10 years. And I really just needed to get these stories out of my head and out of my heart and onto paper. So I wanted to write, though, without any sort of outcome or deadline. Like I was just writing to write. So I would write sometimes like a lot in a month, and then I'd take months off where I wrote nothing. So I just kept writing and writing and writing and writing. And then that was 2023 into 2024. At the beginning of that year, I found out I was expecting my first baby. And so I kept writing and writing and writing. And then towards the end of my pregnancy, I had a lot of nights where I was like up at 2 or 3 a.m. Honestly, I think I was getting just like downloads.
Yeah.
But I had like a lot of pregnancy insomnia. So I would write a lot of the times in the middle of the, wee hours of the morning. And then it was actually at Powerhouse Women last summer where I had wrote in my journal that I felt the call to publish the book in 2025, this year. And when I wrote that down, it was like such a wild idea. I'm like, this makes no sense. Because I am about to have my first baby. My life is going to completely change. I knew it would bring more, just time, commitment to my family. And did this make any sense to publish my book then? But I just kept having conversations with entrepreneurs around me who were in a season of weathering storms. And so I kept feeling this call that like, they need my book. They need my book. They need to know that, one, this is normal. Business is cyclical. It's seasonal. And that they're not alone. And if they just keep embracing those hard seasons and keep going, like they'll get through it and they'll come out on the other side of what I call their harvest season. Because that's what I've experienced. When I started writing, I was in my eye of the storm, rock bottom moment, and just kept taking steps forward until I finally felt like I was out of that season and experiencing the rewards of the harvest that come from going through the planting and growing and weathering season. So that was a huge reason. And I knew that motherhood was going to completely rock my world, change my perspective on so many things. And when I was writing, I want the reader to feel the raw, authentic emotions. And I felt like if I waited till after I had a baby to publish, I would be too far removed from that season of my life to be able to write from a place of authenticity. Mm-hmm. I mean, there were chapters I would write where I'm just like crying because I'm going back to putting myself in that, you know, season of my life and experiencing it all over again as I write it. And that was kind of the healing, the cleansing part of it. And then, you know, I can move on to the next chapter. And so I knew that I needed to close the door, finish writing about that chapter of my life before moving into my motherhood era, because I knew I would just feel so different.
Yeah. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. You have such a great way of explaining that. How would you say that changed you as an entrepreneur?
It has forced me to put into perspective what my priorities are, how they've shifted, how I build my businesses.
Yeah, motherhood has made me just prioritize so much more. And every decision that I make in my businesses ultimately comes back to, is this taking me away from my family, or is it allowing freedom?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it is like making that decision to go do the thing, whether it's like a showing or a speaking engagement or whatever, because I know it'll lead to maybe, let's say, financial gain that will allow us to go on vacation, you know, so there's always going to be trade-offs. But ultimately, I left that first business and walked away from it. So I ended up closing it completely the month or two before I found out I was pregnant, because I needed to do that in order to even have the opportunity to become a mom.
Isn't it so crazy how you like closed a door for one season without even knowing that another door was about to open up? That's so crazy.
It is. And I listened to your podcast, Steph, about divine timing and you know, different circumstances for me, but I waited to have a baby because I could not even imagine having a child with my business where it was. I was chained to that business. I mean, I taught classes every day at 5 a.m. and 6 a.m. and 5 p.m. and 7 p.m. And there would have been no time for my family and to actually not only go through a maternity leave when I couldn't teach classes and I physically couldn't show up for that business. And also, like, anytime I was teaching was when I wanted to be with my child. So I walked away from something that was no longer what I wanted because it wasn't allowing me to start my family, which is what I really wanted. So being able to evolve our dreams with us and the season of our life is so important. So that's a big lesson I learned as a mom too, is I can still hold big dreams and chase my dreams as a mom. And that's something I want to show my son, that he can do that too, but also not at the cost of my family.
Love it. Yeah.
So it has to work so that I can still show up for those little moments, the dinners together, you know, mornings where we're reading books and those things are so important to me. I have really intentionally tried to take a couple days a month off just to spend with my son where I'm not working. And in a season where I feel like I could work every day and still be behind at this.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's hard to do that, but it's so important because I look at him and I'm like, we're 7 months old already. How did that happen? The time is going too fast.
I agree.
And so to have businesses that create that freedom and that flexibility is really important to me. That is how I make every decision about, should I go do this new thing? Should I try this new idea? Should I chase this new client or opportunity? Ultimately comes back to, what am I giving up to be able to do that thing?
I'm so glad you say that, because for the last week, I've been really contemplating your speaker training that you are offering this fall. And it just feels, so my word of the year is soul aligned.
I love that.
The irony of your book being called what it is, I was like, that word soul just keeps popping up in my life, but it feels soul aligned. And obviously, like hearing what you're saying, you know, with being gone in August for Powerhouse, and then again in October, if I do the speaker training, it's like your mind, now that I'm a mom, it's like, okay, I'm going to be gone for a week in August and then a week in October. Granted, it's, 2 months apart, but you do think about those things. You think about, well, can he go with me? Can we take the trip up there as a family? You know what I mean? Like you think like, how can we maneuver this? Or how is it, am I really I'll be okay leaving in August. That'll be my first time leaving him. But then like 2 months later, am I going to be kicking myself because I'm leaving again for a week? You think about those things and your whole thought process changes. But
100%.
I think you explained it perfectly. I think you need to think about the ROI when you're making that decision within your business. Like, what's the return on investment going to be down the road if I do this? Which for that training, to me, it's going to be huge. Like, if you're putting in the effort that you're going to get out of it, it's going to be huge ROI, in my opinion. That goes without saying. And for both Powerhouse and your training, I feel that way, actually. But then also it's like, what am I taking away from? Like, am I taking something away from the family? And that's like my new thought process is like, is he really going to know if I'm gone for a week? Is he really how much am I really going to miss out on if I'm there for the rest of the year? I mean, that's just how my brain works now,
It is. It changes everything because old stuff.
Yeah.
Jump on a plane. That's a great opportunity. I'm so there. Like, I'm very much like, if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it.
Agreed.
Which makes me obviously really think about what I'm committing to as a new mom. And it is hard. It is hard to be in a season where you feel like you're constantly choosing. And that is why I'm like, okay, that's why I don't work Monday through Friday every single week. I try to take a day off during the week because I have that flexibility. So then if I am working on a weekend or I do decide to go to some event or whatever it is, I don't feel so guilty because I'm like, well, I'm intentionally spending this time here so that when I'm gone here, it's okay, because we're not going to be able to be there for every single thing, right? That's just life. But I think making that work in your life with your family and your business is so important.
I love it.
Because you still need to be able to do things for yourself and your business and chase your dreams. But you also want to be there for those moments and be present. I think the biggest thing is just that intentionality, like we talked about in the beginning. And I try so hard to be like, when I'm with him, I am with him. I'm not sitting on my phone. I'm not making phone calls. I'm not on my computer. We're not just watching TV. It's like, what are we doing together? I just actually spent yesterday afternoon signing us up for Baby and Me yoga and some story time at the library and things that I'm like, these are things I always said I wanted to do when I became a mom. Agree. So I need to schedule them and I need to get them on my calendar because otherwise I will fill it with work and other things. Yeah. So it's easily. Like, just be intentional with the time that you have with your child and then you can be away and it's okay. You're being intentional with your business then and yourself.
I totally agree. And you mentioned this earlier. It's so powerful too for them to see us going after our dreams, for them to see us sometimes making those sacrifices. And while we might carry that mom guilt when they're at this age, like they might not know any different, but it's still down the road when they do understand, they're going to see us as these like big shot female entrepreneur, CEO, like going after our dreams. And that's going to be huge for them to see that example. So I do think it's really a good mix of like, that intentional time with them, but then sometimes making that sacrifice and being away when you know the ROI is going to make it worth it. Yeah, you said it so well.
And also, I think I have to remind myself, it's so good for my husband to have alone time with him.
Yeah.
You know, I don't need to be there for every single moment because we have this, like, we already have a bond and a connection.
Yeah.
I've been nursing for 7 months. We have a very strong bond.
Yeah.
But and sometimes that's probably like makes it easier for me to just be like, oh, I'm going to take him with me. I'm going to take him with me. I'm going to take him with me. But that's not really fair because my husband isn't getting that same amount of one-on-one time, right? Until I leave. And then they're getting, you know, whatever amount of time together, just like them uninterrupted. So if that helps too, like just reminding yourself that like, it's actually really good for my child to bond with my spouse just as much as they do with me.
I love that. Yeah, that's so true.
Are you 5'4" or under? If so, listen up. This ad is for you. Did you know nearly half of women in the US are petite? Yet shopping for stylish clothes that fit perfectly can feel impossible? For years, I struggled with this. Shopping in kids sections, dealing with oversized arms, long pants, and wasted money on alterations. I hated shopping because nothing ever fit just right. Then I found Short Story, a clothing subscription box specifically designed for petite women. Short Story is rewriting the fashion rules for petites, offering clothes tailored for all sizes, shapes, and heights under 5'4". They even design their lines based on feedback from their subscribers, people like you and me. Here's what makes Short Story amazing. Each box is personalized to your measurements and style preferences, no more alterations or guesswork. You choose how often you get a box. You can do monthly, bi-monthly, or quarterly. Every box includes 7 items, and I usually keep around 4 to 6 of them because they fit so perfectly. Their styling quiz lets you share your budget, style preferences, and even your Pinterest board for inspiration. Yes, I have literally manifested my Pinterest wardrobe thanks to Short Story. And lastly, after each box, you can give feedback to make your next box even better. So imagine never having to shop in stores again, feeling confident at every event you attend, and knowing your clothes were curated specifically for you. I've been a loyal subscriber for 6 years now, and I promise it's been a game changer. If you're ready to uplevel your style and show up as the best version of yourself, then give Short Story a try today. And then a bonus for my listeners, you can use the referral link in today's show notes to waive the $25 styling fee on your first box. Let Short Story handle the hassle while you show up stylish, confident, and ready to take on the world.
One thing I wanted to ask you specifically about the book is, did you work with a coach on writing a book, or how did you?
I worked.
Like, how did you start that?
Okay. That was referred to me actually through someone in 6-figure school who had published a book. So she had referred the company. So they helped with, basically I was almost done with it when I started working with them, but they helped me formulate it into like the 4 parts of the seasons, like putting together the pieces so that it would flow really well. And then also provided like the editor, the cover design, like the formatting. So really like the bones of the book, they were a huge help with, which I knew I needed because I was like, I don't know how to publish a book.
Right.
And I'm not going to try to figure it out in this season.
Yeah.
So that's where that like who, not how mentality comes into play. And I know we've talked about that book even and how impactful that has been for me, because I am all about like build up your support system in your business, in your life. You don't have to try to figure everything out for yourself all the time. And when you put it out there and you say, this is what I want, you'll be surprised who comes in and can support you when you're not so fixated on how you're going to do it yourself or micromanage it. And you're open to who could help you.
Yeah, so well said. I love that conversation that you are referencing. So I'm currently reading 10X is Easier Than And the book Who Not How is referenced a lot in that book. I think that was Who Not How is the first one. And then they wrote X is Easier Than X. And now that book, Who Not How, is on my to read list. Probably not this summer. I feel like I have enough on my summer list, but it's a good concept. And in business, like I feel like when you look at your network, like if you're wanting to become a speaker, you have to look at like who in my circle can get me down that path. And so the who not how concept is just such an important concept. In terms of your circle of people, in the growth that you have experienced, one, like now as an author, but two, like as a public speaker, have you seen your circle change over the last 2 to 3 years since growing Sister Circle, since starting the book? I mean, you've had so many seasons as an entrepreneur. And I think just a natural side effect of us growing and becoming the best version of ourselves is our circles sometimes do fluctuate and change. And not because you're burning bridges or anything like that, but just because you're growing. And sometimes we outgrow certain relationships or we start to really, like, my whole journey in the last year has been, I've really been around a lot more female entrepreneurs. And one, it's because like I want to learn from them and I want to be around them as much as possible so I can be the best entrepreneur I can be. But two, also because like I just feel like I need that kind of support in my life. You know, people that truly get the ins and the outs of my day-to-day world, that my job doesn't stop at 5 p.m. just because I closed up the office, you know, and there's only so many people that sometimes get that. But have you experienced that growth and that change in your own circle?
Yeah, absolutely. And I love it. I love expanding my circle.
Yeah.
I would say a big part of that came from when I met my mentor. So when I moved into my last studio space that I had, the owner of the building, so my landlord she owned a dance studio, but she also owned a company of business coaching for dance studio owners, like globally. And she pulled me into that community. That's where I got my first certified coach training, which was my catalyst for Sister Circle and speaking and writing and all of those things. So the Soul-Led Speaker training is actually based off of the training that launched my like whole pivot and career. And I'm so grateful for her mentorship because she just opened up the doors for me to be like, there's more out there than just me being this fitness and yoga studio owner. I really stepped into that identity as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, professional. And so that was a huge catalyst of like just opening the door for me. Because she would invite me to her events that were all over the country. And when I first went to that, I didn't know anyone either. Right. But again, it was just getting in the room with these high level people. Yeah. And being like, I want to be like that. How do I do that? And then staying connected and showing up for the calls and doing all the things. So that was a big turning point moment for me in 19. And then, so I was really connected with that community. Then I built my own local community with Sister Circle because I wanted what that was on a local level. Yeah. That was all either virtual or I had to fly somewhere, really, to meet with people once or twice a year. And I wanted that more. So I built Sister Circle based off of that. But even as I pivoted businesses, I've always taken people with me. I've always pulled them along the journey. And I think that is the beauty of small business ownership and being able to pivot and not ever feeling like, oh, well, I'm not in that business anymore, so they don't want anything to do with me. I've stayed connected with so many of my studio clients, even people that cancel their membership. It doesn't matter. Yeah. So it might not be a fit for them right now, but that doesn't mean our relationship ends.
So well said.
I can't tell you how many people I have worked with in one business that maybe that wasn't the right fit, but that they've reached out to me to help them maybe buy or sell a house or, you know, they want to work with me in a different way, or maybe now they're buying my book. You know, it's just like a never ending cycle. So I talk about that in the book, actually, that some people are a season for a reason. That's okay. We bless them. We thank them for the contributions that they made because not everyone is going to want to come with you. Like when you're reaching for new levels, you're trying to grow. Not everyone wants to do that. And that's okay. Or you're just not on the same track.
Right.
So that's fine. But there are going to be plenty of people that are going to come with you for the journey, that want to be alongside you because they see you up leveling. They see you. Growing. They see you being happy, and providing those opportunities for them to do the same is huge. So every relationship made is an opportunity to stay connected, because again, who, not how, you never know when that connection could actually lead you to, you might be one connection away from the person you need to meet to get to that next level. So I am not about burning grudges and, seeing people as transactional, because I just know that we're going to continue to meet in different seasons of life and business. And even now, as a mom, I've gone to Baby and Me Yoga, and I've started making mom friends in a different sort of community. And I go to dance, and I have dance friends, and I go to the gym, and I have gym friends. And I think just always seeking out community in different places is one of the coolest things you can do, and naturally will probably help you grow your business too.
So perfect. Your words just speak to my soul, Stephanie. I think you said it perfectly. I don't think there's any way I can reiterate that. That message is just what I feel people need to hear. Is people, I was listening to a podcast episode with Lori Harder just the other night, and she said something similar to what you just said, is like, as we are growing, it's almost like we owe it to the people around us to bring them up to our level with us. So it's not like we have to leave them just in, like, we owe it to them as we're learning and growing and up leveling mentally and financially. Like, we owe it to them to bring them up to our level with us. And you pretty much said it the exact same way. Like, you don't have to leave those relationships. If anything, bring them up to where you're at. Enlighten them about what you're learning and how you're growing. And, it could really be a huge up level for them as well. And that was a perfect answer.
Totally. And I love providing those opportunities, because I do think we have to seek them out. So even my friend that's coming with me to Powerhouse this year, I'm like, awesome. Like, who else wants to come? It's one of those things where I'm not trying to gatekeep anything ever. Even creating the soul-led speaker training is because that is the invitation my mentor gave me. And it was literally a catalyst. So how can I create that for other people? Because they don't have the opportunity to do it with her. She's not even offering that anymore. So how can I create that so they get that experience? Because I'm all about creating the next leaders, right? Like leaders create more leaders, not
they do. Yes.
So how do I elevate more people to continue to bring people along with me? Because I want to keep growing. So who else wants to do that with me?
Well, Stephanie, gosh, hearing you talk about that soul-led speaker training, I'm like, it is soul aligned. I need to do this. Like, you're getting me so excited. You said it so well too. We really are here to build each other up. We really are here to bring other leaders into this world. And I feel like sometimes in these rural parts of the country, it's in some communities, there's some entrepreneurs that it's very much like me against you. And I am very much on the other end of the spectrum, whereas there's plenty of us to go around. There's plenty of clients to go around. Like, if anything, we need to be building each other up, not look at it like we're in competition, whether you're in the same field or not. Like, it's just such a scarcity lack mindset when you look at other business owners as like a you versus me situation. It's, we're in this together. Let's build each other up together. What can I learn from you? What can you learn from me? That's really how it needs to be looked at. And so when you said we're building leaders, that's right in line with how I look at things. Is we need more women building other women, not just women, but I do tend to look at the entrepreneur world as female entrepreneurs, but we need to be building other entrepreneurs up. I feel it's part of your calling. If you're going to run your own business, then you're also out here building others up. in their business. So
yes, 100%. Yeah.
Well, I'm just curious if there's anything else about the book that you want to share, any specific message or lesson, or like if somebody's like, oh, I don't know if this is for me, is there like an ideal listener that you think should be picking up your book?
The thing that I continue to hear more and more about the book is that you actually don't need to be a soulpreneur or a small business owner to enjoy it, which I love hearing that. And originally I was thinking, oh, I'm writing this book for anyone, which we all know, like if you're for anyone, you're not for, like the right people.
I know.
I geared it towards entrepreneurs because it is my story of small business ownership. But I continue to hear that you don't need to be a business owner to get a lot out of the book. So if you're listening and that's not you, I still think you'll enjoy it. There's a lot of life lessons that are relatable. And I also wrote it specifically for those business owners too, though. And it doesn't matter if you're a new business owner or you're a seasoned business owner. It's going to pull at your heartstrings, because if you're new, you can kind of see the journey ahead and know how to support yourself during the upcoming seasons. And if you're seasoned, you get to go on the journey and think back to when you started and go back to your why and go back to all the hard things that you've overcome to get to where you are right now. So I know that no matter where you're at on your small business journey, you're going to get a lot out of it. And my goal really is it for you to like have this set on your bookshelf as a guide you come back to when you are facing a hardship or an experience that you're like, I remember reading about that in Stephanie's book. Let me go back and see what her guidance or wisdom was. What did she do in that situation? And really just giving you that support of that guide or mentor, someone who's gone through a lot of these things and come out on the other side to give you the confidence to keep going, to experience that harvest season.
Love it. That's awesome. I really thought when I first saw you mention it on Instagram, I really thought like, oh, I'm still in the first 5 years of owning my businesses. So I was like, this is exactly what I need, because I mean, not that it's been sunshine and rainbows so far. It hasn't always, but I almost want like that dose of reality. Like hard times are going to come and it's normal and it happens to everybody, but here's how you can get through it. And so I'm like so grateful you wrote this while I'm still new and as a business owner, because I do feel it's going to be something that's just going to like be sitting on my bookshelf. Like, okay, this is just that constant reminder. Either everyone goes through this, or here's what I can do if I'm struggling, or whatever the problem may be. Being a business owner, while it's great that you can create your schedule and you're doing this potentially for freedom, doesn't mean it's always sunshine and rainbows. And you don't have to feel alone during those hard seasons either, because every entrepreneur goes through it. Yeah. So excited to read it.
And one other thing that is a constant theme in the book, which I know you're about and your listeners probably are too, is continuing to come back to your intuition and letting your gut be your guide, because it will never lead you wrong. And that is a constant thread throughout the book, is checking back into yourself when you feel out of alignment, when something is happening and it feels, outside of yourself. Always come back and do that gut check. Ask for signs. Be open to receiving and surrendering. So the whole last chapter, which I was listening to your podcast about divine timing and surrender, and I'm just thinking, oh my gosh, Steph is going to love that last chapter, because it's all about surrendering to be surprised with my baby's birth story. But how much of birthing a baby is like birthing a business, is like birthing a book. Like all of these things are so similar. The second chapter is called My First Child is Born, because that was the birth of my first business. And, it is near and dear to our heart. So there's a lot of lessons to be learned that you can kind of relate with life seasons, with business, and then just always continuing to come back to that intuition, that inner guide, because we all have it within us. We typically know what we need to do and what is the right path. but we let ourselves get outside of ourselves, and the world gets noisy, and we can't hear that intuition. So continuing to build those practices to come back to listening to that voice, even when it's really faint, even when we're not quite sure, when we don't know if it's the right path, continuing to trust it.
I agree. And I feel like, I'm sure you feel this way too, Steph, but I feel like since becoming a mom, my intuition has been strengthened even more. I mean, I feel like I'm constantly on that journey of just strengthening my intuition in general. And just as I got trained in Reiki and then finding out like I have these channeling abilities that apparently I've been using, but I didn't know I was using. It's like, it's been right there all along. It's just, are you tuned into it? Are you listening to it? But that's a message that it's so easy to let your inner critic get in your head. It's so easy to let outside voices get in your head. But if you could just ground yourself and go within and just trust that the answer that immediately comes to the surface is your intuition talking, then you know the right thing to do. I love that that's incorporated into this book because I am huge on that. And I feel like that's a message people need to continue to hear because unfortunately we have such a loud world that just a side effect of that is people aren't connected to their intuition.
Well, and if you look around in the business world, it's so easy to get caught up in what someone else is doing and how they're having success. And we lose sight of what is true to us.
Right.
And being a soulpreneur is about continuing to come back and tune into yourself. It's about knowing your purpose and following that to serve the people that you're called to serve. And we have to have that continual check-in back with ourselves to keep going because there are going to be a lot of times where we could just do what everyone else is doing. But that might not be aligned or right for us. So, and also mixing strategy with the soul. So even the book, I describe it as where soul meets strategy because it's not a how-to book of business strategy. I could give you that, and I teach that in Sister Circle, the business education community. We talk a lot about strategy, but we also talk a lot about how does that feel? How does that sit with you? Does that create freedom? Does that feel good? Because to build a life that only looks good, it's not worth it. To build a business that only looks good, trust me, is not worth it. I had a 6-figure studio that my entire life revolved around. And I had no freedom. And I felt trapped, like I couldn't start my family, which is what I really wanted. So I had to step back and redefine, like, what is my version of success? Because my version of success that I started that business with when I was 20 years old changed a lot by the time I was 30, right? Like life changes. So we have to change and continuously update our version of success.
I love that. And you keep mentioning when you had your baby and when you finally started your family. If you guys don't follow Stephanie on Instagram, you should. And then you should scroll down to one of your posts. Her birth story in general is such an amazing story.
It's in the book.
Yeah. Okay, good. But then there's also a really awesome reel on Stephanie's page that you have to watch about Val's gender reveal. It is like, I could watch it over and over again. It is awesome. Yeah. So seriously, give her a follow and then scroll down till you find that reel. Because so you guys thought, or you were told, you didn't even think, you were told that Val was going to be a female.
Girl. Yes. Yeah. But my intuition initially was that it was a boy. I always thought I was going to be a boy.
Cool.
Mom. And so when we did our gender reveal, we had a friend of ours fill a piñata, but that was like a boxing bag piñata. My husband and I met at the gym and we fought MMA, and all of those things are in the book too. But so he's punching the piñata and we see all this pink come out and we're like, oh my gosh, it's a girl. So we thought it was a girl. And then I went through the whole second half of my pregnancy being like, oh, I'm having a girl. Like my baby shower theme was girls just want to have fun.
Wow. I did see those pictures.
So ironic. And then, yes, in the last chapter of the book, you find out that I was surprised with a boy. And like the story of it is just so funny. But again, going back to my gut intuition, I was right. Like, that's just another recurring theme.
Yeah.
To listen to your gut. So it's a really funny story. And I waited, obviously, until after the birth to write the last final chapter.
Cool.
And I knew that was that's why this happened. This is the story the book is going to end on. Surrender to be surprised. Surrender the outcome. We're always trying to just grip and control. And the more we do that, the more stressed out we become. So when we can actually let go and just trust and receive, it always turns out better than we even imagined.
Yep. It's just there's something better. That's my daily motto right now. So you're exactly right. Mm-hmm. And the story is in the book. So read the book, but you still have to go on her Instagram profile because you have to watch the reel when they announce it to the grandparents and the family members. The story in the book, I guarantee, is amazing, but you have to watch this reel about when the family realized that Val is a boy.
Taken out by the piñata. My husband, literally the piñata, skims my head.
Wow. I just love it. It really is this or something better. That whole journey. I can only imagine the emotions you felt because you did a water birth, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The emotions you felt that day. I mean, even watching that reel.
2 weeks overdue. So I almost finished the book except that last chapter. I almost finished the book before he came because I literally had nothing to do.
So cool. Everything happened. Right? Yeah, it happened exactly how it was supposed to.
And it was born on 11/11. And it was, there's just so many funny synchronicities. And
right?
You just never know.
Beautiful. It's such a spiritual journey. I love it. Mm-hmm. And then one other fun fact I have to mention about Stephanie. Another reason why I love following you is because so what I love about following people in general in today's world, and entrepreneurs, business owners, whatever, you get to see people on the professional side of things, but then I love getting to see the personal, behind the scenes videos and posts and reels as well. And what I love about your personal life is when you share your reels or stories of you dancing, doing hip hop. You guys, Stephanie can freaking move. She's got the moves. I love, and you just got into it again, right? You just started up again.
So I was dancing at 42 weeks.
I know.
Yeah. I know. And it was one of the best workouts that I did while I was pregnant that I could.
It looks like it. Cool.
And I love hip hop. I always wanted to dance growing up, and it just was not an opportunity that I had. So one of my friends and fellow Sister Circle members actually opened an adult only dance studio a couple minutes from my house. And I've been religiously going the last year and a half. And even on almost 30 weeks pregnant, I did a dance performance. And it's just really cool to have those opportunities.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And you're right. It's such a good workout. And I personally what I love about dancing. I mean, I really just do it in my garage, but what I love about it is you're really connecting with that inner child. When I think back to what I loved to do as a child, when I was truly before my ego even was formed, I just loved to choreograph and dance with my girlfriends, with my sister. That's what I loved to do. And so now as an adult, not doing that, it's I find that I crave it. And I think it's because that inner child is let me express myself, and dance is just such a healing way of doing that. And it's so good for the body, but I freaking love your videos. So keep posting them, keep putting it in your story because I love seeing that behind the scenes. This is what Stephanie does in her free time.
For seeing the real life.
Yeah.
And I love seeing yours too. And it's just fun to see, what people's interests are. What do they do outside of work? All the mom stuff. I'm I love it. I feel I've built actually this really cool community of other entrepreneurs who have had babies around the same time as me.
Yeah.
And it's so fun to support each other and just know that, hey, it is not easy, man. It is hard.
Right.
It's hard to feel pulled in all these different directions,
It is. Yeah.
And there's no right or wrong. There's so much gray in motherhood is what I've found. And, you just got to find what works for you, but it's challenging at times. So to just see so many other women also in the season that I'm in, like you are, Steph, is really cool.
Yeah, it is. And I think it's what, like, whether you're trying to be an influencer or not, when you get to see how people are living their personal life, like behind the scenes life, that's what makes me decide, like, am I going to purchase this from them or not? Like, one, it opens my eyes to like what really matters to you. Like, that's how I decided on my business coach, is I saw the kind of life she was living, and it's like, I want to live that kind of life. Also, like, our values align, and it shows in your stories. And honestly, there's so many different speaker trainings I could be signing up for, but because you and I have such similar values, we're both Midwest girls. You're a new mom. I'm a new mom. Like, there's so many reasons why I'm feeling drawn to your specific speaker training. And there's a lot to be said about that. So if you're not showing your personal life, you really should be, because that's what could be bringing you more sales. I feel people don't just want to know like what you have to offer professionally. They also want to know how you are as a human being when you're not like in behind the mic, or when you're not like doing a coaching call. They want to know who you are personally. That's what's going to get more people to buy from you. I guarantee that.
Okay. Boom, Mike.
Yeah.
That is so true.
Yeah.
You're
for real.
spot on. I do the same thing. Like, I just want to feel like I know you. And that is what builds the trust to be like, okay, I am going to invest in that because I've seen you invest in XYZ, or I've seen you care about this thing that I also care about.
Yeah.
So true.
I did not plan on talking about that, but you just kind of opened the door for that. So, all right, Stephanie, I like to end all of my sessions with some rapid fire questions. So what is a small habit or ritual that makes you feel like your next level self?
My soulpreneur check-in. I created it for myself and I fill it out every morning. It's gratitude. It's my priorities for the day. And it's also focusing on what I want to create, what I want to manifest, and then seeing those manifestations come.
Is that one of your freebies on your website?
Yes.
I thought so.
In a pad version, I printed like
I thought so.
But yeah, it is a freebie, and it's under the free book resources. So actually, at the very end of the book, there's a QR code, and this is on the ebook too for like $1.
Okay.
That it's in that email. You'll get it under free resources. Yeah. Obsessed with it. I've been doing it every day since the beginning of the year.
Okay, love that. I'm going to start doing that. I love it. If there's one thing that you could manifest instantly, what would it be right now?
I really want to manifest a very exciting speaking opportunity on a stage.
Yeah.
Where I can also bring my family. Like, I can make a trip out of it, because just like you were saying, Steph, like, I foresee myself stepping up to my next level and doing the work that I feel called to do. Yeah. And not always like leaving my family behind. Like, I really want them to be on the journey with me. Yeah. So like, we make a vacation out of it or something like that, where like they get to be there and support me, and I get to do this work that I'm so freaking passionate about, but I also get to spend time with my family.
I totally agree. I'm in an ideal world. Once I get into public speaking more, I would like one big speaking engagement a year. I'm not saying I need to be doing it like constantly. I don't necessarily want it as a full-time job, but like one big gig a year. Like you're saying, the family goes with me. They get to be watching me from the back of the room. I get their support. And then, it's a vacation all in one. I totally agree.
It's going to happen. We're going to manifest it for both of us.
Well, I mean, I hope that I really hope that one of us gets to manifest being on the Powerhouse Women stage. Like, just to have a Stephanie up there, just so you know, if you're up there, I'm going to be like cheering so loud for you. Like, I just feel like it's got to happen. We just got to, for our name's sake, just like one of us has to get up there. Okay. What's one piece of advice you'd like to give to your younger self?
It's going to come in the way that you least expect it.
God, you're preaching to the choir. Yep.
You think let go of that picture. Figured out, and you don't. Yeah. So just keep following your heart. Keep showing up. Keep tuning back into yourself. Keep following the fun. Have fun. Enjoy the journey. Don't be so serious. But it's all going to come in the way that you least expect it. So don't take yourself so seriously.
Because let's be honest, did you have that picture in your head when you were like 18, 19, 20, 21 of like, I'm going to be married by the time I'm at the end of my 20s, and I'm going to have a kid by the time I'm 30, and this and that. And like, none of it panned out exactly like that. So
I thought I knew a lot of what was going to happen. And what my life is now is 10 times better what I could have envisioned at my 20-year-old self.
Totally agree. Okay, one last one. What is a dream destination that you'd like to travel to?
Egypt.
So cool. That would be amazing.
I feel so drawn to the pyramids, and I know that's part of like my like past life sort of whatever.
I wondered that. Okay.
Soul, like wherever I come from. But yeah, I was actually a history major in college. So a lot of like historical places really draw me. Egypt, Greece would have been like my second.
Yes.
So yeah, just like some really cool historic places.
That's amazing. I love that. I hope you can make that happen. That would just be a trip of a lifetime, you know? Love it. Totally. Stephanie, I cannot thank you enough for making time to come on here. I know how busy you are as a mom, as an entrepreneur, all the things, but I just know that this is going to hit home for so many people. So I just really appreciate you being willing to make the time to come on here, to speak your truth, to promote your book. You guys, I'm going to put the link in the show notes, but seriously, you don't have to be a business owner to buy this book. You're going to get so much out of it regardless. So I'll put the link on or in the show notes if you're interested. And then, also check out some of the other, she has some freebies. If you do buy the book, please check them out. I mean, I'm going to do it. I'm going to make a notepad out of that. You have me convinced that I need to start doing that. So love it. Thank you again, Stephanie.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. All right, guys. Well, until next time, I'll talk to you all next week.
Real quick before you go, I just want to thank you so much for spending a little time with me today. And congratulations on showing up for you. Every step you take to invest in yourself brings you that much closer to your next level self, and I'm so proud of you. If you loved this episode, share it with someone who could use a little inspiration, or take a screenshot and tag me on socials so we can keep spreading the next level you energy. Thanks again for tuning in, and I can't wait to see you in the next episode. Let's freaking go!